بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. It looks like the heat has taken some of our students. They failed and they weren't able to make it today. Khairan inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we only have a few lessons left. Maybe end of next week, if not the week after, we should finish the book inshallah. Today, bi'ithnillah, what we'll do is that we'll just go through the exam. How's the exam? Is it alright? Any more revision? Challenging? More questions? It's alright. Riyadh sent me a message today saying that Ustadh, the warnings you give for this exam, you shouldn't have given it for the Arba'een exam. So basically on Sundays I teach Arba'een Nawawi and Oldham. I give them an exam as well. And he was saying that was much harder. Don't worry, you'll get that same exam soon, inshallah. But I'm not sure. There I'm going into a lot of detail. Done 30 lessons. We just finished hadith number 2. So, yeah, 30. So, as for over here, I'm still deciding, do I go into detail or do I just keep it short? That's why I asked, should we do 3 lessons a week? Because it's quite a lot. But we'll see, inshallah. Right, today we'll just go through the exam. Now, subhanAllah, I've got an issue with logging into the what do you call it, the Zoom. So we're just going to suffice with the YouTube stream, and you won't be able to see the exam because normally I share the screen from Zoom and that's what you guys see, but you can't see on YouTube. Aman, just make sure you send the link in the groups for the YouTube so that the students know it's on YouTube, not on Zoom. Or send it to me and I'll send it. Okay, so we're going to go through it inshallah. So that's peer mark, meaning give your exam to the person next to you and they can mark your exam for you inshallah. Yusuf, do you do the exam? Not yet? We're going to go through the exams, the answers now. Sorry? No. Yeah, got him. Okay, Yusuf. Actually, Qasim, come back. I think, okay, I was just waiting for a PIN code that somebody has sent to me. Okay, inshallah, the Zoom should work. Give me a second. Start the meeting. It's like it's a new Zoom. It says Zoom Workplace. What's that? Where's my meetings? On meetings. Where's it gone? There we go. Okay, alhamdulillah, it's working. Student is asking if I could check the WhatsApp group. I don't have it on this phone. It's on the phone. What's on the group? Don't have the exam, why? His email is full. A copy of the exam. How do I send it? His copy specifically. So that we'll no, the one his exams. Just, I'll check send me his name and stuff, and I'll check later. Right. Okay. Let's go through the exam then, inshallah. Right. Let's do it this way. Right. Okay. Right, okay. So the first question, so as you can see, the exam is split into two parts. There's a lot of multiple choice questions, and then there's a few questions you had to write yourself. So the first question, awesome. Check this if it's charging or not. Yeah. Yeah. My tablet's charging. Throw it this way. Actually, no. Well, no, it is. Well, you took it out. Okay, let's carry on. If it turns off, it turns off. It probably will, because 2% is already gone in 1 minute. Okay, the first question, what's the definition of fiqh? So there were two parts. It's knowing the practical Islamic rulings with its specific evidences. Knowing the practical Islamic rulings with its specific evidences. Only if you got both of them, you'll get the mark. 1 mark. So if you just got 1 out of the 2, then no marks. Third question, how is a book of fiqh typically split? So all the green ones, they're the 4 that you have to get. It wasn't necessarily in order, but they're the 4 that you should have got. Transactions, criminal law, family law, and worship. Okay? Then, that was 2 marks. You get 2 marks for all of them. If you got 1 wrong, you get 1 mark. If you got 2 wrong or more, or if you picked, if you got 2 or more, then it's 0. If you got 1 wrong, or if you added an extra 1 which isn't in there, then you get 1 mark. First one was 1 mark, second one is 2 marks. Third one, fill in the table of differences between conditions, pillars, obligations, and recommended actions. Okay, so the first one, which is present within the Salah as an act of worship, that's pillar, obligation, and recommended actions. Yeah, all 3 of them. Okay, so I think there's 5 parts to it. So 1 for each, yeah. Second part, needed before and during the action, is a condition. Not excuse for leaving intentionally or forgetfully. Condition and pillar. Excuse for leaving intentionally, recommended. Remember, obligation, if you leave intentionally, it's not accepted. It's only unintentionally you do sujood sahwi. The last one requires sujood sahwi if missed, obligation. What is Ibn Umar's opinion about a person who does he have to make up the salat if he faints? The answer here, that was 5 marks. Come on, please pay attention. I said it. We've got a lot of questions, so I can't be repeating myself. They don't have to make up if they fainted for more than 3 days. If you pick the one after as well, that's also correct. They have to make you up the first 3 days. Okay? So they don't have to make up if it's more than 3, but they do have to make you up if it's less than 3. That's 1 mark. Number 5. It's 1 mark. Takbirat al-intiqal refers to only the first takbir in Salah. True or false? False. The first one is takbirat al-ihram. Number 6. Can a person pray sitting instead of standing? Yes, for non-obligatory prayers with half the reward, and yes, if unable to stand for obligatory prayers. So these 2. No, it's 1 mark. 7, 1 mark. Who's the one that says Sami Allahu liman hamidah? The Imam and Munfarid. Number 8, can the Imam recite quietly in all prayers? The answer is yes if he wants to. Remember we said reciting out loud in Maghrib, Fajr and Isha is Sunnah. It's not a condition or obligation. So yes, if technically he can. Should he? No. And especially in a masjid, if he does so, I don't know, they wouldn't even let him finish the Salah. Number 9, which of these are nullifiers of Salah? So it's these 3: breaking wudu, drinking, and moving away from the Qibla. And moving away from the Qibla is a bit general, because if it's a little bit, it's fine. But if it's, what it means is moving away from the Qibla a lot. So this was 2, it was 2 marks if you got all 3. If you got 1 wrong, 1 mark. What is the difference between the rain prayer and Eid prayer? They're both the same. So rain and Eid are the same. I think that's exactly what he says as well in the book. What is the ruling on praying the 2 units of prayer or entering the masjid? You can stick to what's in the book. Tahiyyat al-Masjid, the Shaykh he wrote that it's obligatory. Categorize each movement into its level. Scratching an itch away is allowed. This is little bit and it's a need. Removing your sock because you see impurities on it, obligatory. Chewing gum, obviously prohibited. Turning the head to look around, disliked. So looking around in Salah is disliked. Obviously, if it's to the extent that you're no longer paying attention to Salah whatsoever, and you're not following along and so on, then it could lead to prohibited. But just if you're praying your Salah, you're doing everything, but you're looking around, then it's prohibited. Swaying side to side, so a person is moving left and right, disliked. I mean, it could go to prohibited if it's during the whole Salah, because then it's just continuous. But generally it's here and there, disliked. Taking a step forward to straighten the row, so if you see a gap, either fill in the gap, or if you're just moving a bit left and right or a bit forward a few steps to straighten the row, both of those would be recommended. So that was six marks. Okay, so that's turned off. Right. Which of the followings are not preconditions of Salah? So the answers here are puberty. Puberty is only a condition for obligation. But remember when we took it, bulugh was not mentioned, it was tamyiz. We're talking about of acceptance. Wearing the ihram, that's got nothing to do with Salah. And tawaf, and being free, i.e. not being a slave. 2 marks. If you missed one, only 1 mark here. It is not acceptable to leave out a condition whether intentionally, out of ignorance or forgetfully, except if one prays with some impurity out of ignorance or forgetfully, then the prayer is valid. True. So that was the only one. We said things that you stay away from. So you have to stay away from impurities. If you ended up praying with impurities and you didn't know, then your salah is accepted. 1 mark. And 15. Which of the following are pillars of salah? So takbiratul al-ihram, surah Fatiha, sujood upon 7 parts, the final tashahhud, sitting for the final tashahhud, and tranquility in all positions. That was 1 mark for all of them. 1 mark for all of them. Well, so it's written 1 mark, last 1 mark, stick to what it is. What is the difference between a pillar and condition in regards to salah? So, I mean, there's a number of differences, but it's only a 1 mark question, so as long as you wrote one a difference, that's fine. And the main one would be is that a condition is before and a pillar is, well, the condition is before and goes till the end, whereas a condition is during the salah and it's just a part of salah, it's not throughout the whole salah. There's 1 mark. Number 17. If a pillar is missed in the salah unintentionally, the salah is accepted. True or false? False. It's pillar. How many conditions of salah are there? 9. Conditions are 9. It's 1 mark. Bilal is playing Maghrib. If Bilal skips the first tashahhud and instead stands, what should he do? Include in your answer the 3 situations. Basically, if he remembers as he's going up, he sits down. If he remembers after fully standing up, it's better to carry on, but it is permissible to come back. And if he's actually started Surah Fatiha, then he has to continue. So they are the 3 scenarios and 3 marks. Yeah, 1 for each. Does the prostration of forgetfulness make up for a missed pillar? No. Unless you bring back that pillar, you can't make up for it like that. 21. What kind of movement breaks the salah? Many unnecessary consecutive movements such as eating. It's 1 mark. Give any 8 sunan of salah. So this one, there's so many, like, what, 16 in the book? As long as you got any of those 8. Here they've got reciting out loud in those salahs, surah after Fatiha, reciting quietly in the others, pointing with index fingers, sunnah sujood position. What does it mean by sunnah sujood position? No? Adding dua after the last tashahhud, doing salam and Muhammad sallam. On Ibrahim alayhi salam. Salam and Muhammad sallam is a, what is it? It's obligation. La, it's a pillar. It's a pillar. Yeah, okay. Okay, look. Sending salah upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam is a pillar. The rest of it, when he talks about Ibrahim alayhi salam and so on, that's sunnah. He has written the Prophet and Ibrahim alayhi salam, so I will give it to him. To have your head and back straight in ruku', okay. I can't go through every single one, but when you're marking it, as long as it's 8 things which are from the 16, give them the marks. It's 4 marks. It's 4. So every 2 is 1 mark. 23. What 3 situations should prostration or forgetfulness be done? If you added something, taken away something, or you doubt. That is 2 marks. So 2 marks for all 3. And just got 2, then 1 mark. Ruling on najasa on clothes unintentionally regarding salah. So it's a 2 marker, so you should have given the ruling and the reason. Okay? So if you pray with najasa unintentionally regarding during salah, salah is accepted because it's something that you want to stay away from. So you could have written 2 reasons. Either the principle that if it's something to stay away from and you did it out of forgetfulness or a mistake, you're not held accountable to it. Or if you just wrote the hadith, the Prophet prayed with his sandals, that's also fine as well. Explain the statement, certainty is not removed by doubt, and support your answer by using the following scenario. Bilal got confused praying Isha. He was 50% sure he was on the 4th rak'ah, but had doubts that he might be on the 3rd. How does this principle apply to Bilal? Meaning, he's 50% sure he's on his 4th rak'ah, but had doubt. If it's 50%, then obviously it's a doubt. Oh, by the way, I didn't write all the questions. Just let you know, somebody else did write parts of it, okay? Right. The basic scenario is that he's got doubt. Is he on the 3rd or 4th? Is he on the 3rd or 4th? So as long as somebody's written along the lines of that he's certain that he's on the 3rd, minimum is 3rd. The doubt is in the 4th one. Okay? Then you stick to the lower number, which is 3. If you've written something like that, that's fine. Okay, so certainty is not removed by doubt, meaning you're certain on 3rd. You don't move away from being on the 3rd by doubt. You only move away from number 3 if you're certain. So somebody comes along and tells you you're on your 4th or whatever it may be, then you move on to your 4th. If it's a doubt, yeah. Remember, it's suicide for 3 reasons. That is 2 marks if you explain it fully. If you explain the principle and if you apply it to Bilal. So if they're just written, he's on his 3rd, that's just applying it to Bilal. If they give an explanation with it, that's the principle. If they didn't mention suicide, that's fine. I mean, it should be done. If they didn't mention it, we'll give it to them. Because the main focus is explaining the principle. If you forget to do prostration or forgetfulness, you must repeat the salah. True or false? False. So if you forget to do sujood, it's fine. 27. Can you walk in front of people praying behind the imam? Answer is yes. So in Jama'ah, the Imam sutra is a sutra for everyone. So between the rows, you're allowed to walk. That's what Sahaba used to do. I think Ibn Abbas did it with his donkey as well. He just walked through. Yeah, yeah, go on. Right, 28. So all these have been 1 mark so far, yeah? 26 is 1 mark, 27 1 mark, 28 1 mark. Right, we're on 28. Which of the following are prohibited times to pray general recommended prayer without specific purpose? Yeah, all 3 of them. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's until the sun starts. Oh, you're right. You're right. It should be until the sun starts to set. What should we do then? Yeah, the mark would only be for the first 2, not the third one. Sort this out. That's sorted. Okay. 29. What's the ruling on praying the prayer of a delirious drunk person? It's rejected. 30. What's the ruling on the one who prays quickly? It depends. It depends what you mean by quickly. As long as he was able to say everything that he needed to in the correct place, correct time, and so on, then it's fine. In terms of full reward, he may not get the full reward, but in terms of the pillar of tranquility, then the minimum requirement is to be in that position long enough so that you can say what you need to say. So he's not saying it halfway, he's not moving whilst he's saying it, and so on. He said it and then he moves. Yeah, the Prophet did pray them quick, but that's why he said it depends. What do you mean by quick? Okay, Tahara. What are the signs of puberty? Select all that apply. Wet dream, reaching 15. Pubic hair, women reaching her menses, that's 2 marks. Why is wudu done? 3 right plus 3 wrong ones. 3. If you said 1 wrong one, I would have said give him 1 mark. But if 3, they just pick. Let's thought, let me pick everything. How many was? There's 8. So he picked 6 out of 8. Bound to be some right. Yeah, no marks for that one. That's a lot. Half a mark if you want. 32. Why is wudu done in order prescribed? Select all that apply. The eloquence of the Arabic language. Yeah, because of the ordering of the ayah. The Prophet did it in that way, and the Prophet said, "Start with it." Allah started it. Good. Those 3. That is 2 marks for all 3. 33. Explain the meaning of madmada, istinshaq, istinthar. Madmada is rinsing the mouth. Madmada is rinsing the mouth. Istinshaq is putting water into the nose. Istinthar is bringing water out of the nose. Okay, so if you got all 3, that's 2 marks. For all three, 2 marks. The reason it's 2 and it's not 3 because 3 would have been just too easy. Yeah? And if you do 1, then it's a bit less because it's 3 things. So left ears, 2 marks. If they got 1 wrong, then 1 mark. If they got 2 wrong, then no marks. So madmada, rinse in the mouth, istinshaq, water into the nose, istinthar, water out of the nose. 34. What is tahriq al-lihya? It's running fingers through the beard during wudu. So lihya is beard in Arabic. Prophet said, "U'fu al-luha." Luha is plural of lihya. So that was 1 mark. 35. So there's 1 mark question. Which of these impermissible, according to majority of ulama, in the state of hadith asghar? Praying, tawaf, touching the mushaf. 36. What are the conditions for wiping over the socks? So from these is that they have to be clean. They are put on in the state of wudu. The socks must cover most of the feet, 24 hours for the resident and 3 days for the traveller. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 things in total. So 3 marks if you got all 6. So 2 marks, or 2 answers, 1 mark. Sperm is impure since we have to have a shower after it comes out. False. It's 1 mark. 38. Select the impurity that falls under the moderate category. Mani, madhi, urine of a boy. No, everything else. So answer is everything else. 1 mark. 39. Summarize the overall message of the hadith in Sahih Bukhari where the Prophet advises the one who prayed badly. 3 marks. If you've got the whole story, I don't mind to summarize it and then they did not say like everything. But a man came, he prayed in front of the Prophet and he gave salam to the Prophet, and then the Prophet said to him to pray again because he didn't pray correctly. So he went back and prayed, and this happened 3 times until finally he said to the Prophet that I swear by Allah, or I swear by the one who sent you with the truth, I can't pray better than this, so teach me. So then the Prophet taught him, and everything that the Prophet mentioned is a pillar. So he said, إِذَا قُمْتَ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ, when you get up to pray, and then do the takbir, I say Allahu Akbar. Then read what is easy for you from the Quran, which is Surah Fatiha. And then do ruku' until you have tranquility in your ruku', and then stand up until you have fully stood up, and then do sujood until you fully have tranquility in your sujood till the end of the hadith. Okay, so as long as they got that, that's fine. 3 marks. So you could say, let's say, 2 marks for the story, and 1 mark if they mentioned that everything the Prophet mentioned in there is a pillar. Mention the 10 conditions of ablution. Okay, so 5 marks, right? I've just got a list in front of me. One student has written all 10. Islam, sanity, tamyiz, intention, continuous intention to the end without breaking it. Stopping whatever nullifies the wudu, cleaning the 2 private parts, using pure and purified water, pure and purifying water. La. Halal or permissible and purifying water. Yeah. Removing what prevents water from reaching the skin, and for the one who constantly breaks his wudu. Somebody's wrote here incontinence. It's not specific to just incontinence, that's just an example. But anyone who is in a constant state of breaking their wudu, then he has to do wudu at the start of the time. So if they've got 10, then 5 marks. No barrier in the skin, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, remove anything that blocks the water reaching the skin. No barrier from the skin, that's fine. Question 41. How many questions were there? 98. I'm getting tired. Right. Here are the 5 conditions of istijmar. Which ones are missing? So 2 are missing, so 2 marks. Cleaning to the extent that whatever is left can only be removed with water, and then not cleaning with objects that are respectable or has impurities or dung or bones. Alright, so these 2. 2 marks. 42. Can you use the same object for istijmar for the 3 minimum wipes? The answer is yes, if you use different parts of it. Yes, if you use different parts, 1 mark. So we said yes, 1 mark, and if you given the explanation as well, 2 marks. 43. Using a siwak is recommended act of cleanliness. True. 1 mark. What are the 6 obligations of wudu? So obviously you have the 4 are the body parts, right? So from fingertips, including your elbows, your face. You don't have to mention the detail where exactly start. As long as you said the face is fine. Wiping the head and washing your feet until your ankles. Doing it in order and not leaving a time gap that causes the previous body part to dry up. No, if you put the ayah, no marks. They ask you for the ayah. It's good, mashallah, you put the ayah, but no marks. That was 3 marks. So 6 obligations, 3 marks. Put the ayah, Allah barak, mashallah, very good. But no marks, no marks. Unless if they just put the ayah and if they put the ayah and it's in place of the 4 body parts, alright. If you don't like that, then okay, you can have the marks. You can have the marks then. Yeah. "45. Is it sunnah for one to wash the parts of wudu 3 times each apart from the hair? No, it is sunnah for one to wash the parts of wudu 3 times each apart from the hair, but it is better to be certain, so advised by the scholars to wash more than 3 times. The last part. False. False. Haram to more than 3. 1 mark. 46. Explain how one should do ablution if there's no water available. Basically, how many marks is this? This is 3 marks. So 1 mark is a person saying that you do tayammum, and the other 2 is somebody explaining how to do tayammum. So you get your hands, you make your intention, get your hands hit it on the ground, or you say Bismillah, then you hit it on the ground, and you just wipe your face and you wipe the top of your hands. That's it. Apart from saying Bismillah, no, lose a mark. 2 marks in total. Face and hands, wrong order. No, 2 marks, 2 marks. That's the mark. What are the obligations of ghusl? The obligations of ghusl are just 2. Make your intention and make sure the water reaches everywhere. Sah, it's a pillar. But what does the book say? Anyone got the book with them? صفة الغسل الواجب. No, the Shaykh wrote it as wajib, obligatory. To make your intention, say Bismillah, and then make sure the water reaches everywhere. Also, Bismillah, I don't think it's an obligation. It's obligation in wudu, it's not obligation. Let's stick to what's in the book. So 3 things. Stick to what's in the book. Intention, Bismillah, and make sure the water reaches everywhere. That is, one second, go back. What question was it? 47? That's 2 marks. 2 marks for all 3. Then lose a mark. Okay. Have you ever standard, which is the book? Any issue with whatever's written in the book? No, because then no one can turn around and say, it's a book, khalas. No. If you say Bismillah, you have the intention, but if you have the intention, you don't necessarily say Bismillah. What makes ghusl obligatory? So, sorry, before that. No, 48, we are 48, okay. What makes ghusl obligatory? So 3 marks. Marital relations, ejaculation, finishing monthly cycle, finishing postnatal bleeding, death, accepting Islam. So basically the first 6, 3 marks. 49. Which ayah contains all categories of people to give zakah to? Now obviously I don't expect you guys to remember as the exact reference all of the time, but this is something we did stress. And even if you didn't remember the ayah number, you should remember the Surah Tawbah. So Surah Tawbah, ayah number 60. 1 mark. Zakat al-Fitr is legislated so that the poor have something to eat on Eid and a person can expiate their deficiencies in fasting in Ramadan. 2 marks. 51. Select the opinions that apply to Zakat al-Fitr. Right, so 3 marks for 6 of them. Firstly, it's known as Zakat al-Badan. It is a must upon every Muslim, adult, child, female, male, slave, or free person. Even if the woman is pregnant, it is mustahab to give behalf on the fetus. Whoever is obliged to look after the family should pay it on their behalf. You can pay it on behalf of others such as friends or students. And the last one, it is an expiation for deficiencies taking place in Ramadan. That's 6 of them, 3 marks. That's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th option, and then the last option. 52. In regards to Zakatul Mal, if you hit the Nisab threshold, you have to be over it for at least a year without it fluctuating, except for Zakah of that which grows from the earth. True or false? True. Number 53. Which of these are categories of Zakah? Merchandise, crops that grow from the earth, or that which grows from the earth, animals that graze freely, gold and silver. That's 2 marks. The fuqara are those that have more than half of what they need. False. 1 mark. Those that are employed to collect zakah can pay themselves for their expensive accrued from distributing the zakah even if they are rich. True. 56. Generally, who are not allowed to be paid zakah? The family of the Prophet ﷺ, why is this in different order to what I've got? Okay, anyways, it's not allowed to give to the family of the Prophet ﷺ. A strong person who can earn money, but who's too lazy to work, so he just sits at home doing nothing. It's not allowed to give it to the rich. It can't be given to those who is obligatory upon you to spend on, and non-Muslims. So that is 5. 2 marks. 2 marks. Yeah. This is a general rich person here. It's not entitled to give to a rich. Because that we're not giving it to him because he's rich. That's got nothing to do with it. That's because we're giving it to him because he's working on zakah. It's got nothing to do with it. The part, even if he's rich, is added just to confuse you. 57. Zakat can't be given to those whom it's obligatory to spend on, such as your children, as it is obligatory to look after them. Does this include non-immediate family who don't live with you? No. No, it doesn't. That's a general answer. There are some scenarios where, let's say you got cousins who are poor and there's no one else to look after them and so on, and they depend on you, and then it's a different scenario. But generally no. It's like somebody who's generally somebody who's a relative, but they're not under your care. Then general answer is no. They don't come under this point that we're mentioning. So 57 is 1 point. 58. Bint Laboon is a camel that has reached how old? 2 years. Good. 59. How much percentage does one have to be paid on zakah on crops that have been artificially or physically watered, but has not been in contact with rain or the natural means? 5%. What's the nisab, the correct nisab? The first one, 85 grams of gold or 595 grams of silver. Which of the two do we choose? Which one lower, because that's better for the poor people. 150 camels, what do you give? 3 haqqa. So Qasim, you asking a lot of that. There's a lot of tables you have to fill in and do that. No, just give me one easy one. Because I understand, it's hard to remember everything. So I'll give you one. Right. Fasting. What's the linguistic meaning and the Islamic meaning of Sawm? Linguistic meaning means to abstain or to withhold. Islamically, it is to worship Allah by withholding from eating and drinking and whatever nullifies the fast from sunrise to sunset. 2 marks, 1 for each. What is the ruling on a breastfeeding or pregnant woman missing fasts? So basically, you mentioned the 3 scenarios. If she's fearing harm for herself by fasting, or herself and the baby, she doesn't have to fast, and all she does is make it up. But if she fears harm for the child only, then again, all she has to do is make it up. But there are some ulama that say that she also has to feed a poor person, so it's better for her to do that as well. That was 2 marks, yeah? So 64, should you verbalize the intention of the fast? No. What is the ruling for traveling for the traveler to fast? What is the general principle? So this was just 2 marks, and because it says what's the general principle, if you just summarized it, that's completely fine. For example, this person, he's written, if the fast is easy, better to fast. Fasting and not fasting is the same, he should fast. If it's hard for him to fast, disliked. If it's going to cause him harm, haram. But the general, really basic principle is, do whatever is easier. Okay? But this is 2 marks, so as long as you put the different scenarios. Okay? As long as you put 3 of the scenarios. If you put that it's easy for him, or it's the same, he should fast. If it's hard, he disliked. If it's harming him, it's haram. 66. Is a person blameworthy for eating and drinking unintentionally? Why is it asl for when a person is blameworthy? So no, the person is not blameworthy for doing it unintentionally. Yeah? What? If you eat unintentionally, forgetfully. Yeah, so are you blameworthy? No, you're not blameworthy. What's the asl for when a person is blameworthy? Is when he does it intentionally. I remember this. That is 2 marks. Yeah, got 42 responses now. So that means 2 people have just. I forgot to turn it off. 2 people have just submitted their exams now. It was 40 when I opened it in the beginning of class. Now it's 42. I forgot to turn it off. Who's in that name? For some reason, it's very slow. Both on my phone and on my tablet. Even the Vice is telling me it's a long exam. Right. Do you have any other answer for that? What do you write for? What's the asl for when a person is blameworthy? Oh, okay, that principle, okay. Leave that principle out because it's not clear from the question. People might not remember that. Okay, as long as the person, if they've written that if it's intentional, that's when they're blameworthy. And generally, if you do things out of forgetfulness, it's going to come in Arba'in, hadith number, I think 38 or something like that. Inna Allah tajawaza li an ummati al-khata'a wa nisyan. Allah has pardoned my ummah for what they have done mistakenly and out of forgetfulness. So if you do anything mistakenly out of forgetfulness, then you're not sinful. And you're not blameworthy. If it's to do with the rights of the people, or if it's to do with a specific action where something's mentioned, then that doesn't mean there's no ruling attached to it. Meaning, if you break somebody's possessions by accident, there's no sin upon you, but you still have to pay for it. Okay? Now. Okay. If you also wrote the principle that if it's something you meant to do and then you forgetfulness you didn't do it, then you have to make it up. And if it's something you stay away from, then you don't have to. That's also a good answer as well. But as long as you're in the minimum that I said before, that's fine. That was a 2-mark question. Right, 67. When can you pay zakat al-fitr? After Fajr, before Eid Salah, and a day or two before. No. Obviously, recommended is at Fajr. That is 1 mark. What are 2 types of takbirat and when do you say it? So unrestricted and restricted. Unrestricted, what do you say here? It says, done from the start of the Hajj to the 13th. Okay. Restricted from Fajr on the 9th to Asr on the 13th. Okay, yeah. So unrestricted is any time. Actually, no, this restricted is not fully correct. Unrestricted from the beginning of the Hajj till Asr on the 13th. Restricted is from the 9th, the Fajr of the 9th until Asr on the 13th after the Salahs. Make sure you write that. After the Salahs now. What topic are we in? If there's no topic mentioned, I'll give it to you. If you're a takbir ihram and takbir intiqal. But we're talking about fasting. Huh? Oh, Allahu Akbar, those in Salah. How could I change the question to be more specific without actually giving you the answer? Because if you wrote those, 1 mark. Out kindness. You need it anyway. Right, 69. Which of the following are pillars of fasting? Intention and withholding from that which breaks it. That's 1 mark. Bilal had a very busy day. Bilal happens to miss his breakfast and his lunch due to how busy he is. 10 minutes before Maghrib, Bilal decides to make the intention and fast since he has not eaten or drunk anything. Is his fast accepted? Yes, as a nafil. So Bilal's got a big mention in the exam. He's not even here today. 71. Give both reasons why the 9th month of the lunar calendar is called Ramadan. Hint. The Arabic word Ramadan means to burn. Okay. This is like an extra question. So the 2 answers is that when the one is that the month that it was named, it happened to, when they were being named at the time, it was very hot. So called Ramadan because that burning hot. And secondly, Ramadan, it burns your sins away with the good deeds that you do. That's 1 mark for both of them. Right, 72. The primary wisdom for fasting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions it as obligation in the Quran, a means to gain taqwa and closeness to Allah. And he mentions the ayah. Give any three secondary wisdoms for fasting. So any 3. Wait, somebody's wrote, you don't eat and you don't drink. Okay, no, any three. So from health benefits, remembering the poor, unity between the community, right? Any three that you wrote is fine. Any others? Huh? Yeah, I just said that. Remembering the poor, feeling the poor. Sunnah of the prophets. No, if you mean Dawood alayhi salam, no, because that's fasting one day, missing one day. Obviously, the ayah is talking about Ramadan. But if you mean prophets, because the ayah does say وَالَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُم, those before you, it's obligatory for those before you as well. But is that like a secondary benefit? No, I'm not going to give it. This was 2 marks. Right, 73. Select the conditions for obligatory fasting. Islam, sanity, why is it intention? No, intention is pillar for fasting now. So Islam, sanity, puberty, not traveling, good health, and not menses. Those 6 now. 3. Yeah, for each 2 you get 1 mark. 74. If there's no difference, i.e. no added difficulty to travels or health, then it is recommended to fast. True. Number 75. It is halal to not fast when traveling on a yearly family holiday if fasting will make the travel harder. True. If you are traveling anyway and then it happens to be Ramadan, yes. Not if you, for the sake of Ramadan, you're like, okay, I just don't fast. No. 76. Can you explain the 2 types or levels of sickness that concern fasting? Include in your answer the expiations for both types. So basically, temporary illness and long-term illness. Temporary illness you make up when you feel better. Terminal illness you feed a poor person for every day you miss. That is 3 points. So there are 4 answers. So the 2 names and the explanation of both. So for all 4 answers, 3 marks. They probably wrote expiation because they couldn't remember what it was. Go on, give it. It's Naeem's, isn't it? Give it. Yeah. Oh, sorry, 3 marks. 3 marks. It's out of 3. This one. 76. 77. Select that which breaks the fast. So this is 3 marks for 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 answers. Intentionally eating or drinking, marital relations, the exiting of sperm due to touching, kissing, or hugging, that which takes the same ruling as eating or drinking, such as nutritional vaccines, cupping, vomiting intentionally, and menses and postnatal bleeding. So all 7 answers, 3 marks. Right, Hajj. When do you do Tawaf al-Qudum? As soon as you arrive at Mecca. So upon arriving at Mecca, 1 mark. 79. If one is unable to sacrifice as a part of the Hajj al-Tamattu', what should they do instead? Fast 10 days, including the days of Tashriq. So 3 days of Tashriq and then 7 when they get home. 17 إذا رجعتم. That is, all 1 mark so far. 80. What's the difference between Tahallul al-Awwal and Tahallul al-Thani? The difference is after Tahallul al-Awwal, which is doing 3 of the actions or 2 of the 3 actions on the day of Eid, you can do everything. You can wear normal clothes and cut your nails, everything, apart from have marital relations. Tahallul al-Thani, after you do Tawaf al-Ifadah, only after that is permissible for a person to have relations. So that is 2 marks. What is the Arabic acronym to learn the rituals on Eid day? Ranhat. Ranhat. Now Ranhat, the way I've seen it written is that, I don't know if it's I've seen it as two separate words. So run, ra fatha, nun sukun run, and then ha. Okay, that's how I've seen it. Can you write it as one word? I don't know. I don't know if it is one word what it means. But the way I've seen it when I was reading is as two different words. Right. Question 81. No, we just did 81. 82. What is Ramal? Is to walk fast in the first 3 rounds of tawaf. 1 mark. Select the conditions of Hajj. So 3 marks for 6 answers. Puberty, ability, sane, male guardian for female, Muslim, and person is free. So 3 marks for 6. Puberty, ability, being sane, male guardian for female, Muslim, and being free. Pillars of Hajj, 4 of them. So Ihram, being in Arafah, Tawaf al-Ifada, Tawaf al-Ziyarah, and then Sa'i. 2 marks for all 4. Three extra. Each extra one knock off a mark. That's a good way of doing it. For each extra one you knock off a mark. So it's at 0 now. Minus. Stop at 0. Right. 85. Describe the 3 types of Hajj, including the Arabic names in your answer. So basically you should have got Hajj, Al-Tamattu', Al-Qiran, and Ifrad. Tamattu', as long as you've just written Hajj, Umrah together with a sacrifice. Qiran, Hajj, Umrah separate with a sacrifice. Ifrad, Hajj only, without a sacrifice. That's fine. Qiran is where you don't exit. Hajj, did I say the round? Okay, Tamattu' is when you exit. What did I say? Tamattu', Hajj and Umrah separate. Did I say together? Okay, sorry. So Tamattu' is when it's separate, and then Qiran is when it's together. That was 6, yeah, 6 marks. So 1 mark for each name, and 1 mark for each description. Okay, what are we on? Question 80? 86. Which of the following are obligations of Hajj? All of them apart from leaving Ihram for the first day. That's 3 marks. Yeah? Everyone got that? 87. Dhul Hulayfa is the miqat for the people of Medina. That one's a bit easy one. Juhfa, alright, this is a bit more difficult, but it's the miqat of the people of Sham and Egypt and Morocco. This is the one we go over, by the way. If you go to Jeddah from here, you fly over Juhfa. Because Juhfa comes like this, so the plane goes like this, and then just right at the end, just for Jeddah, just like a little U-turn. But we go over Juhfa. Right. 89. Mention any 3 recommended actions of Hajj. So any 3 from those that were mentioned. So taking a shower, putting on perfume on the body, kissing the black stone, clipping nails, shaving pubic hair. Obviously, this is all before. Yeah? Saying the talbiyah, revealing right shoulder during tawaf, wearing 2 white pieces of cloth, spending the whole day making dua. I'm just reading different answers students have written. If you wrote any of the answers from the sunan, that is fine. 2 marks. Obligatory. Questions were there? 90? Okay. Right. Question number 90. Select the prohibitions whilst in ihram. All of the possible answers are prohibitions apart from shouting and running. That's 3 marks. Okay. 91 is 1 mark. What expiation would you give for intentionally cutting the hair outside the legislation time whilst in ihram? Either fast 3 days or feed 6 people or slaughter a sheep. You have to go 3 years. 92. Explain the difference between leaving off an obligation and committing a prohibition in Hajj. Somebody just wrote, sorry Ustadh, I'll do better next time. Right, leaving an obligation, you have to sacrifice an animal. And if you're not able to sacrifice, then you fast. Whereas committing a prohibition, then it goes into the 4 categories that we had mentioned. How many marks is this? 92. 1 mark. So they don't have to mention all of the 4 categories, as long as it is indicated towards it, that's fine. 93. Which days of the Hajj are known as Ayyam al-Tashriq? 11 to 13. That's 1 mark. 94. Are the above descriptions correct? No, it's incorrect. Number 8 is Tarwiyah. Let's stop to the Yawm al-Qir. So it's incorrect. 95. Okay, I'll come back to 95. 96 I'll come back to as well. Both of them are 6 marks. This to 97. The Prophet did Hajj 4 times. False. He did Hajj once. He did Umrah 4 times. Being at Arafah is a pillar. Staying until sunset is an obligation. True or false? True. That was question number 98. And then it's feedback and stuff. Alright, let's go back to so 2 questions we just skipped over. Question 95 and 96. 95 is basically how to do Umrah. 96 is basically how to do Hajj. And I told you these questions are going to come, right? So both of them are 6 marks. Let me have a look. Is it both 5 and 8? Sorry, 6 and 8. 6 and 8. No, 6 and 8. So Umrah is 6 points and Hajj is, or Ifrad is 8. I don't expect you to have every single detail mentioned. Okay? As long as a person has given the general overview, okay, general overview, and they mention the main points, that's fine. If they missed stuff out, it's okay. So for Umrah, as long as they've written something along the lines of, if they missed out having a shower and all that before, that's fine. As long as they're done, you make your intention and you wear your ihram before passing the miqat. Then you get to Makkah, you do tawaf around the Kaaba. So if they didn't mention that you have to say the talbiyah, if they didn't mention you have to uncover the right shoulder, that's all fine. If they did, obviously it's better, but I'm saying this is like the bare minimum. You do tawaf around the Kaaba 7 times. Every time you go past the Hajj al-Aswad, you say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. The first time, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, then Allahu Akbar. Then you pray 2 rak'at behind Maqam Ibrahim. Then you can drink Zamzam. If they missed out, that's fine. Then you go to Sa'i between Safa and Marwa, starting at Safa. You end up Marwa 7 times. And then you cut your hair. That's fine. 6 marks. The points I just mentioned now are the main points. If they missed out like Sa'i, if they missed out Tawaf, then knock off marks. And then Hajj again, I think did I send like a little summary? I think I sent a picture of a summary. I did. Just use that summary. That's like the bare minimum that should be on there. Check in Telegram group. Yeah, Sheikh Hisam Surhan's. Let me send it again. Send it again. Okay. So he has, is it 13 points? Use that as like the bare minimum. Okay. So what to do on the 8th, 9th, 10th, and so on. So that's 8 marks. So if they miss something out, they missed a day out. Or for example, from the 4 actions on the day of Eid, they mention only 3. That's like a main thing, right? Then take a mark off. If they missed out recommendations, sunnah acts, and so on, that's fine. Okay. So class, I'll leave you guys. Okay. If you missed what to say during Tawaf and Umrah, do you take off 1 mark? No, that's fine. Like saying Rabbana Atina fid dunya hasana, that's fine. Class, I'll stop the recording here, inshallah. I'll leave you guys to just work out the marks. Once you've got all the marks, make sure everyone texts Qasim on his business number. Qasami number again, I'll send it again in the group so everyone has it. Now, so please send in how many marks you got, so that we just know how the students are doing and so on. I mean, if I marked them myself, I would have got it anyway. But you saw how long it just took. Imagine it took me 1 hour for every student. 42 students have done it. Yeah? How many students? It's still 42, right? It's not me just going through the answers and I see 43. Okay. Right, so I'll stop here for the recording. You guys take your time to work that out. Subhanakallahumma hamdaka ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.